5:41 in the morning West Coast time. It's still Saturday, the 24th of February, 2024. The zombie, Weaver John C. of Roseman, California, sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up. Shout out to artist in recovery, Mr. Daryl P. All right, we're getting into topics uh, for fanaticism and also for not for fanaticism. Wasn't that topic? No, it wasn't. It was talking about paranoia. I was reminded of a Twilight Zone episode I saw a long time ago where certain experiments happen and people freak out about it because they didn't know what the hell was going on. And they see this light and they see that light and there's supposedly aliens out there screwing around with us just to have a lark. I would look at it as people from, I don't know, man-made conditions just to screw people over left and right. We would have our own little mini terrorists doing that. Some guy wanted to screw around with the damn power system. They probably could. But theoretically, we don't have any crazy people like that now, do we? When the solar flares hit, and we got reports about that one a few days ago, we always get solar flares hitting us. A double flare kind of got scientists and engineers and some other people's attentions on this one. They want to make conspiracy theories out of it. Okay, well, what? I listen to some of the scientists. I'll try to look at some of the data they got. I can figure the shit out. However, it takes a little basic understanding of astronomy to kind of get a gut feeling of what is and what isn't possible and how much nature will screw with you one way or another, especially when we're talking about the cosmic scene versus our own terrestrial scene here, and how vulnerable we are regarding our technology. We're still trying to develop technologies of trying to deal with outer space, the physical as well as the radiation. There's companies out there, one of them which is trying to build a balloon for people to live in. Put it up on a rocket, blast it out in space, and then it's supposed to inflate it, and people can live in the damn thing. You think it sounds easy? This particular company is discovering through experiment after experiment after experiment with different layers and different materials just how much endurance these things can make. And then this is in the commercial side. This is not government. Because this is also scares the hell out of me, and this pisses me off and upsets me a great deal. At the International Space Station is slated in about a few years from now to be crashing and burning into the atmosphere. Because after the station's lease on life, so to speak, is up, they're not going to continue to maintain the damn thing. They're crashing and burning the son of a bitch. All that work, all that. But they're going to try to put as much performance out of that old tin rust bucket up there. It's not a rust bucket, though. It may be mechanically looking like uglier and shit, but this damn thing was useful when it got put together by the Space Shuttle program and continued on to do so. Almost 30 years? Has it been that long? We hadn't kept anything up that long for a long time. But NASA is focusing on the moon base now. They're not focusing on space stations. That's going to be up to the commercial. And right now, this one particular commercial company is still trying to get people to live in balloons, but attached to physical ports for power transfer, but people to be living in these kind of structured balloons. Now, there was said that there was a port on the International Space Station where this balloon experiment is still ongoing. And they're still testing out the endurance and durability of this balloon. They're worried about cracking. They're worrying about structural integrity being threatened by. They're worried if the balloon is going to pop in space. They're worried if it's going to get any punctures on it to make it pop in space or go. I was seeing this video that they showed a few days ago, or several days ago, and actually I posted a couple of weeks ago. So they're pumping out their test balloon well above NASA's expected uh, numbers. They wanted to see just how much this damn thing of theirs can endure. Got to a point like 75 psi, 75 period psi. More tolerances than Earth atmosphere can allow for anything. But they were trying to crank up the tolerances so they could see what the limit of how their endurability, how their layering is working. They wanted to see what the hell was going on. Much like the failures that another large space company have been trying to test on their behemoths a great deal. And if they actually get it up there and coming down in one piece will be a miracle in itself. But every time it blows up, they're still cheering it because of something they discovered, something they can fix, and something they can move on with. Much like the experiment concerning about this one balloon that popped, and boy did it pop just big. And they slowed it down just to get all the information necessary. What was the strength? What was the tensile on it? What was the what was going on with it? Those science fiction films we had back in the 50s, or between the 20s, 30s, and 40s, people living in wheels. Imagine we actually have a balloon with a hell of a lot of layer protecting on it, different materials, connected to hubs that looks like a wheel floating around space. Now they were showed in the old serials that there would be gravity, but if the thing's slowly turning around in space, there's no gravity. They're simply floating around in space. And the reason why we keep subjecting human beings for longer periods than a year or more in the space stations is because of long durance flights. We need to get information on the body as much as possible. We need to keep analyzing what the hell's going on, how the human endurance is going to last. Because once we start sending people over to the outer planets, from the inner to the outer planets, we need to know if they're going to live or not. If we haven't discovered artificial gravity or find a way to generate it, we can do the science fiction movies to talk about the principles and theories. It's in engineering practicalities that we still have to work on. Just how much of a drum spin on a vehicle is going to be needed to generate that much spin? And is it going to throw off the entire vehicle once it's traveling in space? They have to discover something about that one. In the film 2001 A Space Odyssey, the Discovery had a rotating drum where all the experimentation and habitability is in there. Everything else needs to be, well, they had the habitability, but they also had Velcro all over the damn place so they could stick and not worry about things. But still, they kept looking that there was sufficient gravity in the vehicles, like as if they got artificial gravity generated. Only for the centrifugal force to keep the people where they are inside that spinning drum while the ship was going this way towards their destination of Jupiter. I was watching all this. I was trying to analyze everything in my head on this one. How fascinating it was. In my adulthood, and as I was watching it as a kid, You know, it didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to me that they actually had a spinning drum. Otherwise, how the hell would they be able to generate the artificial gravity? We haven't even done that. We haven't even we haven't even discovered what makes gravity gravity, so we can recreate it and reverse the process in order to have what anti gravity for vehicles to do levitation, but to have gravity in space, artificially generated, so we don't have to worry about anything else. We keep doing all these damn science fiction shows, movies, and everything else about how we're walking, how we're dealing with stuff because we have gravity plates. It would have been nice to have that, you know. That's one invention I would love to understand. We get into conspiracy theories, boys and girls? As my dear friend out on the East Coast was trying to tell us about certain Twilight Zone episodes out there. Rod Serling and his writer crews out there were really digging things up to scare the hell out of us, but make us think like crazy. And it's no wonder it's developed a strong fan cult following throughout the decades because we get it. We get it. We get the message. He was trying to tell people what the hell was going on. Did we understand? Did we want to understand? Were we understanding it? Well, imagine if we did. Imagine if we did. I don't know what the hell it is. Did I get it as a kid? Nope. I saw all these stories, and it didn't faze me a bit. As an adult, since I've got time, perspective, understanding, and seeing how screwed up we are. One second. Sorry. I'm getting more and more about our fear and paranoia these days. All it was analogies. No, besides that, it's like reading the Reader's Digest anthologies. That was the word I was trying to figure out. Anthologies. All these anthologies to watch and understand what the hell's going on with the human condition, human mindset, perspective, context. Visionaries like Roddenberry and Serling. And then you had other writers following in, or actually flying on their own way. They were making science fiction possible for us, making us understand about our own selves as we went forward into the future. I was trying to explain to Mr. Darrell about conspiracy theories, even that stuff we may pop up with, but we know they're false. It takes critical thinking in our heads to understand things. We have to have strong observational skills, and then we have to analyze. We have to analyze. Maybe not at a scholastic professorship level, but on a level that we can understand it in our own way. When I start going through the political claptrap that I'm being bombarded on YouTube, I'm asking myself, why am I watching this damn crap in the first place? Who cares about this particular politician who can't get her damn act together? Instead of making fun about her or uh, other people with strong opposite opinions who think they know better, and then they start picking on other people left and right. Well, look at this one. This person's this way. Look at this situation. Look at this one. Ah! It's
all bad. It's all bad. I tell you. I tell you. I telling you. You gotta listen to me. I need my subscribers. I need my money. But I gotta tell you about this stuff. It's all bad. Conspiracies all around. Ah.
Good Lord. I thought I was having issues. Trying to make a characterization on these guys. It takes a lot out of me on that one. It does. I mean, yeah, I'm picking up like it's an addictive candy at this point. If you really got a sweet tooth going on, you're really craving this kind of stuff. Man, you're stuck for life on this. But if you just want the sweet just every once in a while, just to satisfy a little bit of a craving, that's one thing. And you're still stuck with it. No way to get past the damn thing. No way to get around it. We're stuck with it all. Try this one. This is being buried alive in the video here. Out here in California, Temecula, California, school district out there is saying that critical race theory is bad. Transgender is bad. If you start saying things that relate to transgender, LGBTQ, anything regarding it, to identify yourself as a different persona, much like we use he and she, they use they. And if you start identifying that, then you're screwed and you're screwed in a school district and probably get labeled or harassed and everything else going on. Oh, by the way, you don't get the special bathrooms either. You're born here that way, so you're going to be living that way. What happens if I'm born with multiple organs? Yeah, defect! Well, God made me this way. God, he didn't. He didn't. You're a defect. You're a demon. Demons don't create life. Demons screw up and destroy life. But they can't give life. Don't tell me that. I know what the Bible says. Oh. So basically, if we're going to be talking about slavery, we can't talk about slavery. How dare you? It's equal opportunity employment we have here. Even when we got them over here in the 1700s, all the way to now, it didn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a damn thing to us. Don't you understand it? You can't do that to us. We gotta program our kids the right way here. There was no slavery. And I'll take it to court to prove it. And actually, they did. The school district got taken to the court, and they were proven that they were right according to a superior court judge in that particular county. So now the long process is going to start at this point over here if they really want to continue battling it with the school board. There was a lot of parents that wanted to put an injunction on the school board, tell them to stop your bullshit. You're throwing up racism more and more at this point over here that we don't even know what the hell you're doing. You're saying that slavery was good. You're saying slavery there wasn't no slavery. This is part of part of a culture, part of a history that happened. Part of a people that got taken over from one particular continent to another continent because of manpower and also because of material. I mean, what was that kind of a triad going on? Slaves, rum, tobacco. Somehow that cycle worked out. I don't know how the hell it did. But they needed it for the colonies. We needed manpower. We can't do it ourselves. We need more manpower. So we need to buy human beings. And we treat them as shit. They do what we say because we tell them to. Generations later, centuries later, we're trying to get to the bottom of everything over here. We understood what the hell happened. We mistreated a hell of a lot of people coming from one continent to another continent and used them for cheap ass labor and kicked the shit out of them and killed them just for fun of it. But we can't say that because other people don't want us to say that. Other people are coming across over here for equal opportunity. Sure. I mean, just manacled, laid in one position for God knows how long it took from one continent to another continent across the waters. No matter what the hell happened on board ship. And then you get paraded around when you actually survive and say, oh, this is a good, strong war. You just collapsed on the ground. Get rid of the body. This is a good, strong worker over here. You're looking frailer than shit. The mistreatment that happened. Yeah, when we had the blacks coming over from Africa, when we have the African natives coming over, and not just by tourist boat, not by passenger accommodation. No, the passenger accommodation for these guys was being locked up in chains and yelled and scolded at, given rotten food, and if they actually survived the damn trip and the captains and the crews, they got it even worse when they got on land. Rights, dignity, freedom, humanity, stripped. Stripped. And for generations they endured. And for generations they fought like hell. For generations they became part of a society. And we still got a problem with them. Why? Because they're black. They're not white. I can never understand that analytic bullshit going on through their freaking heads in this one. Racism crap. It's supposed to be a country of pluralism. This is what I was taught, not just by my parents, but also by religion and also by school. What the hell happened to us? What the hell happened to us? Are we referring back to the 1800s or worse, the 1700s? Does this mean, in this particular form and logic, I can go to any one of my neighbors over here and put them into slavery and start calling them names and start mistreating them, even pissing on them if I feel like it? Is that what we're going to be turning out to be? I had seen the television show Roots when I was a kid and didn't understand the reason why I was watching this damn series. My teachers told me to watch it. Okay, so I watched it. My family watched it. And we saw this thing. And I still didn't have a concept what the hell it was. I didn't. You tell an elementary kid what the hell's going on, and he's like, huh? Maybe somebody in junior high would look at it and say, well, maybe they're getting some weird ass ideas. And so the adults are like, eh, meh. Except for some of those who have actually watched the series. And for a long while, I thought the damn thing was real. Until I learned that it wasn't. Fictionalized account, but it was based based off of historical facts, based off of reality. Even though it wasn't an actual documentary or docudrama, it looked like one, didn't it? But it gave you an opinion, a viewpoint of what slavery is. It still is. I could use was, but I used is. Because we will change the dynamics of slavery around, and it's still slavery, regardless. We'll treat you as a slave because we're going to be denying you knowledge. We're going to be denying you of your culture. We're going to be denying everything. You're not going to you're not going to be allowed to know it, to understand it, to live through it. It just simply didn't happen. And the more you keep thinking about this one, the greater and the better we all will live. Really? This is what the damn Superior Court had already made justification to a smug school board bastards in there. I don't care what kind of sex they were. They're all bastards. All white, all privileged. But they got elected into the board. And again, I blame the damn voters. The parents who voted these assholes in office. And was there a way to vote them out of office? If they're going to be pissed off, if the parents and teachers and everybody else are going to be pissed off at the damn board, they got to find a way to get rid of them. Put up with new people. They got to do this. They got to do the legal route on this one. They got to go through the appeals. They got to go through the state supreme, and then after that, it goes up to the federal. Because we are interfering with First Amendment rights. We are interfering with education here. But in a conservative court right here, they'll be putting it right back down to the lower courts again. It's going to be up to the city councils and the county supervisors to get the laws made. There's legal processes, unfortunately, it takes too fucking long. But welcome to Democracy 101. Other than that, that's my ranting and raving for this morning.